ships that have shown up absolutely empty, no sign of any struggle, yet the crew has just vanished.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 creepiest Bermuda Triangle stories.
A storm moving in the photo, and soon after, the boys would be gone.
The last 60 years, this mystery has sustained the wildest theories about what strange forces could be at work out here.
For this list, we're looking at creepy and sometimes unexplained events that reportedly occurred within the infamous Bermuda Triangle. What's your favorite Bermuda Triangle story? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Witchcraft. Not literal witchcraft, although we wouldn't be surprised.
We pray of thee. We invoke thee.
Witchcraft was the name of a luxury yacht that mysteriously vanished off the coast of Miami. The ship's owner and captain, Dan Burke, planned to look at the Christmas lights off the Miami shoreline with his friend, Patrick Horgan. However, something went slightly amiss during the trip, and a calm Burke contacted the Coast Guard requesting a tow back to shore. Burke made clear that it was not an emergency. When the Coast Guard arrived 19 minutes later, the Witchcraft and its occupants were nowhere to be found. The ship and the men on board remain missing to this very day, despite an extensive search and rescue operation. Number 9. Perry Cohen and Austin Stephanos.
You don't forget this. You don't forget these kids.
Despite the Triangle's reputation for missing ships and aircraft, many boats have actually been found after the fact. In 2015, the cargo ship USS El Faro went missing after encountering Hurricane Joaquin. Nearly 1 month after its disappearance, the ship was found intact at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, the reason things seem to be fine is because you have tons and tons and tons of water in the hold of the ship that you don't yet know about. And that's slowing down your progress, making your ship heavier and making it appear more stable until that water shifts. And then when that water shifts, everything just goes crazy.
That same year, two 14-year-olds named Perry Cohen and Austin Stephanos went missing after embarking on a fishing trip. The two left on a boat belonging to Stephanos' mother and never returned. The area encountered a major storm after their departure, and Stephanos reportedly Snapchatted a picture of the oncoming storm from their boat.
A storm moving in the photo, and soon after, the boys would be gone.
Made me a little bit nervous. And then I Snapchatted him, he didn't reply, so then that made me even more nervous.
2 days later, the abandoned boat was found off the coast of Daytona Beach. The boys were never found. Number 8. Douglas DC-3. In late December of 1948, Captain Robert Lindquist was flying a Douglas DC-3 from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Miami. On board were 3 crew members and 29 passengers. It was a routine flight for Lindquist, and everything went smoothly until the plane came within 50 miles of the American coast. Lindquist attempted to contact the landing airport, but was met with total silence. They were unable to contact the ground, and the ground was unable to contact them. The plane subsequently disappeared and was never seen again. It then became the subject of a meticulous investigation by the Civil Aeronautics Board, who deduced that the plane was suffering from electrical difficulties that prevented communication. Number 7. The Carroll A. Deering. With it having sailed within the North Atlantic Ocean that's often attributed to the Bermuda Triangle, the creepy story of the Carroll A. Deering remains one of the most popular in maritime history. On January 31, 1921, the ship was spotted run aground off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. It was clear the ship was abandoned, and when investigators finally got on board, they found evidence of damage and discovered that the distress signals had been lit. They also saw both the lifeboats and the crew's personal effects were missing. An intensive investigation was launched, and it concluded in 1922 without an official explanation. However, most people speculated it was the result of a mutiny after they sailed through the Triangle. Though this remains the most accepted answer today, nothing has been definitively proven, and speculation remains about the previous events that could have led up to this. Number 6. Bruce Gernon. If Gernon's story is to be believed, then the Bermuda Triangle is a very bizarre place indeed. Gernon was a pilot who, in 1970, was flying with his father and his father's business associate. The trio was flying from the Bahamas to Bimini, where they encountered some weird clouds with flashes of light. Initially thinking it was a routine electrical storm, Gernon was horrified to see the clouds join together to form a 15-mile-long tunnel around the plane. After passing through, the plane emerged into a hazy field of thick gray mist, and the electrical equipment wasn't working. When the mist finally dissipated, he found himself over Miami Beach, which was physically impossible given their short flight time. Gernon believes he traveled through some type of wormhole.
So wait, what you're saying is that you accidentally discovered time travel.
Number 5. Star Tiger. The Bermuda Triangle clearly has a thing for Avro Tudor airliners. British Southern American Airways, the owners of the Avro Tudors, suffered a really bad time in the late 1940s. In January 1948, the passenger aircraft Star Tiger, with 31 people aboard, went missing while flying between the Azores and Bermuda. Contact with the plane was suddenly cut off, and it disappeared without sending a distress signal. Many people believe it crashed into the sea, possibly due to personal error from a fatigued crew or a faulty altimeter. A year later, another Avro Tudor owned by British Southern American Airways went missing. Named Star Ariel, the aircraft disappeared while flying between Bermuda and Jamaica, with 7 crew members and 13 passengers on board. Number 4. The Great Isaac Lighthouse. It's not just planes and ships that experience dangerous phenomena inside the Bermuda Triangle. Sometimes it's even stationary lighthouses. Located 20 miles northeast of the Bimini Islands is a small island called Great Isaac Key. The island is accessible only by boat, and it contains an old lighthouse that was erected back in 1859. The lighthouse is often utilized by cruise ships traveling from Nassau to Florida. Back in August of 1969, the lighthouse was found completely abandoned, and its 2 keepers have never been located. Abandoned lighthouses will always make for a great and creepy story, but in this case, it was likely the result of the dangerous Hurricane Anna. However, what specifically caused the lighthouse keepers to disappear remains a mystery.
Now I got it all figured out. Except what's the secret, mischief you're keeping? Up there!
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, Tommy.
Number 3. The USS Cyclops. Another enormously popular maritime story involves the naval vessel USS Cyclops. In March of 1918, the Cyclops was carrying over 12,000 tons of manganese ore when it and the 306 passengers disappeared without a trace. The initial thought was that the ship was sunk by a German submarine, but the consensus later changed to structural failure. It's believed that the corrosive cargo eroded the ship's I-beams, and that the Cyclops literally broke apart in a storm. Despite this finding, no wreckage has ever been found. Tragically, all 306 lives were lost, making this the deadliest American maritime disaster not involving combat. Number 2. Flight 19. The event that started the whole Bermuda Triangle craze, the story behind Flight 19 is deliriously mysterious and wonderfully creepy. On December 5, 1945, a group of 5 torpedo bombers went missing during a training exercise.
Their disappearance became the linchpin of a modern legend of the supernatural.
As the weather worsened, the inexperienced pilots were believed to be more than 230 miles off course and over the open ocean.
Taylor, who was the flight lead, was talking about the compass didn't look right. He started to get confused.
Don't they know they have to get back?
Taylor thought that they needed to fly to the northeast because he thought they were over the Florida Keys.
With the sun down, radio contact spotty, and bad weather conditions, the pilots realized they were done for, with Lieutenant Charles Taylor radioing his crew, quote, "When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together." A Martin PBM Mariner was sent out to find any possible survivors and exploded in midair, killing all 13 people on board. The explosion was attributed to gasoline vapor.
Over the last 60 years, this mystery has sustained the wildest theories about what strange forces could be at work out here.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Irving Rivers. The plane disappeared over St. Thomas, despite the control tower seeing his approaching lights. Columbus's light. Christopher Columbus observed a weird candle-like light on his transatlantic voyage. Flight 441. Navy aircraft disappeared with 42 people on board. Flying Boxcar. Military transport flight disappeared between Florida and Grand Turk Island. Sylvia L. Ossa. Cargo ship disappeared in 1976, killing 37 people on board. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Ellen Austin. Back in 1881, the schooner Ellen Austin was making its way through the Sargasso Sea when it encountered an abandoned and aimless ship. Wishing to salvage the ship, various crew members boarded and sailed the abandoned ship in close proximity to the Ellen Austin. A few days later, both ships encountered a particularly violent storm. When the storm finally subsided, the mysterious ship was nowhere to be found. The crew of the Ellen Austin eventually spotted the ghost ship aimlessly drifting through the water, having once again been abandoned by its crew. This makes for a spectacularly spooky story, and it suggests that this mystery vessel may be the most cursed ship in existence. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.